Blumhouse is at it again. Can he make a good sequel or not? Let's find out. After the events of the black phone, Finney tries coping with the fact of what he had to go through. He starts smoking the weed to numb his pain from the grabber who loves kids. Gwen gets more dreams of her mom, and then she also gets more dreams of these kids that died at this winter camp. Then we got Finn, Gwen, and the Mocha Boy, the Scooby-Doo gang, and they're going to this winter camp to solve the mystery of these 3 kids so they can stop her from sleepwalking in the damn house. Only for the kid grabber to reappear again as a damn ghost entity to enact revenge on Finney. The positives to this film is the cinematography is rock solid. I'm glad to see they brought back more of that Super 8 film in those dream sequences. Hard to say if they shot it the same way, but it looks just as grainy as the first film. The music tried adding more synths for that 80s vibe. It's decent overall, but it still lacks a memorable theme. The themes are just missing in Hollyweird, and those need a big comeback. The gore in here is pretty wild at times, with heads getting sliced and thrown on the damn floor. And I'm glad they kept it that way, but damn did this film make me realize that we are way too desensitized from all this crap. I thought Ethan Hawke as the kid grabber was the best part of this film. It was interesting how he was tied to the camp, and Mando, the guy who runs this camp, knew who this guy was. And then he also knew who Gwen and Finn's mom was as well. So it's very interesting how they tied this all together. I'd even say Mando was pretty solid in this film as well. He gives some solid advice to Finn, and that's really about it. At least he does some good shit. I thought the scenes where the kid grabber comes out of the darkness and he just emerges and he's like, "Sup guys?" And I thought those scenes were great. They were very intense, but the only kind of downside to them was there wasn't enough of him, and he just needed to be in there a little more. And these other characters had lots of plot armor on them, and he didn't go too hard on these kids where he could have made them all go bye-bye, turn it off real quick. I do think putting the mom storyline into this was very neat, and they kind of wrapped everything together in this film. It was kind of nice to see that. It did have quite a few emotional scenes, especially with Gwen and Finn about their mom, and I think that was very nice and sometimes quite touching to the film. But there's also a lot of negatives to this film, and that is the writing and the acting. That's where the film really falls apart. And Gwen is probably the worst part about this film. Her acting was not good. It was more so theater acting than trying to be natural. I think she got away with it in the first movie because she was so much younger.
Jesus, what the fuck?
But now that she's older, she just comes off as a big whiny baby with an attitude. I thought they were gonna focus more on Finney's character on this one, but they focused on Gwen's character. But I'll be honest, I didn't really care for her at all. The beginning scene after Finn beats up this kid, the dialogue between her and Finney was just really odd. It felt forced and unnatural. And then the way this Mocha kid pulls up, they literally said, "For real, for real. For real, guys? Oh my god, for real!" But you can't make this shit up. This is just some writing for some Gen Z kids. The dialogue just was very dumb. Then Mocha Boy wants to get with her, and she keeps saying she's weird, and he still wants her. I was thinking, homie needs to quit the simping for this chick. She's all types of crazy. And the funny thing was, me and my friends saw this film, and we chuckled here and there, laughing at the dialogue. And this chick beside me says to me during the film as it's playing, "Are you gonna giggle at everything?" And she was dead serious. It honestly was just like that. That's how she looked at me. It was crazy. And I actually responded with, "I can't laugh?" Then she told me, she literally said, "She's weird in the film and you're laughing." And I said, "It's subjective." And then there was no response from her, and I just had to add something else to it by saying, "Who pissed in your Cheerios?" And then after that, this bitch didn't say anything. She was quiet, the way she should be, especially in a damn movie. Why are you talking during the movie? If you're so annoyed, leave the damn theater. And then also, all I could think was, this bitch would be an absolute nightmare to be with. And she honestly reminded me of how unlikable Gwen is in this entire film! And there were some funny parts here and there, and I was gonna be a little bit passive aggressive to this bitch. But I was like, no, I'm very respectful and I'm not gonna say anything to ruin anybody else's experience at the film. Because I have respect for other people, especially when they're trying to enjoy a film in peace. But not with that bitch! But anywho, Gwen here is calling people cunts and twats that she just met. Are you kidding me? She just met these people and she's calling them cunts and twats. Where is your dad? Obviously he's not here at the winter camp until later. He comes later. And she just has no morals or values. She's just an angry teenager with an attitude. Super unlikable. You can be an angry teenager and shit and still be likable. But not this bitch. Even when they're sitting in the church and she calls this barb lady a cunt and she just gets away with it is dumb. And that's why I said Mando is kind of okay, but he should have just stepped in and really taken her ego down into the ground where it should be. But he says nothing. And I was like, yeah, this guy's a bitch. I think this Mustang mocha chick was only in here for some diversity and that's it. She didn't do much besides being a girl boss. And then she says holy shit in this church. Like, the disrespect is wild. Like, come on guys. Have some morals and values for once. This chick is basically a dude with a puss. Then we got this other mocha boy who's just a simp for Gwen and he wants to get it in and doesn't care if she's a bossy bitch or anything. He'll be simping for her till the end of days. And then we get to one of the dumbest parts in this film is when Gwen becomes Rey Skywalker and just finds out she has damn powers in her dreams. There was zero build up towards this. She just blows up that phone booth and she gets all this confidence out of nowhere. Fear levels gone. And it just happens all of a sudden. It would have been nice to see how she progresses and then she gets to that point. That would have been fine. But it's to the fact that she just gets there and she's like, I'm the best. And this is what I'm saying. There's no hero's journey for these chicks at all. It's just, I'm the best right away. And that's it. And that's why Rey Skywalker is a trash f***ing character! And I think the kid grabber let these clowns off way too easily in this film with the amount of plot armor they had. They all would have went bye-bye, turn it off real quick, but no, the story had to continue with Gwen's bullshit trauma, and all I was thinking is, damn, her dad really failed her. And that whole ending was very quick, with girl boss Gwen using her abilities and getting the kids from under the lake to the top so they could defeat the kid grabber. Then Finn comes in and beats the shit out of him. And then this guy floats down into the lake and freezes. And that's how it ends. You can't make this shit up. And there was really no stakes at all. You just knew everybody was safe and everyone was gonna go home. Fine. It's a happy damn ending for everybody. And she gets a phone call from her mom on the black phone and they chat it up. They're like, sup y'all? And it ends. And it's like, cool, I guess. And it was just a really rushed ending. And nobody is gonna remember this. Ever. And for an almost 2-hour movie, it did drag a bit showing them clearing the damn snow off the lake to find these kids. And more melodrama with Gwen! Overall, this movie is watchable, but it's a 5 out of 10. It's nothing really memorable about it, and it made you wonder why a sequel was even necessary in the first place, as there's already closure in the first film! You know, and I didn't hate this film, but it's pretty trash considering the first film is a lot better, and that film is probably like a 6 to me, and I probably wouldn't watch these films ever again, because he's a kid grabber, and I'm not a fan of that shit. And usually when I say 6, it's so damn mediocre, I won't watch it again. And if it's anything higher than that, it's very rewatchable. Anything 6 or lower is absolute hot dog shit. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts on this forgettable film. And while you're at it, watch more fun videos here.